What is your gender? My gender.
I'm non-binary. I was born AFAB, so again, assigned female at birth. Being non-binary for me personally, it's more of a mixture of the two. It's less of a no gender and more of a both gender type situation. I grew up as a so-called tomboy when I was a little kid. I don't know, it's just translated over into my adulthood. This is how I feel about the general expression of the like populace, the society, specifically a Western society ideal. Because, like, in other countries and stuff, it's normal for guys to wear makeup or for women to have body hair. Specifically, the society that we live in. This is the presentation that I feel for this, you know? I don't know. It's really hard to explain because again, it's specifically my own gender expression. It's the way that I feel about myself, and I can't expect any other non-binary person to feel exactly the same way I do, or any other trans person. Like, this is me. This is how I feel, and the way I feel is very in between what society labels as man and woman. When it comes down to like a medical type transition, the facial hair, the just body hair in general, the deeper voice, the squaring out of features, I think my jawline did get a little more prominent. It was pretty fucking pointy to begin with, so not much has really changed there. I think really the facial hair, honestly, as soon as I started growing the facial hair, I was really like, yeah, this is what I've been looking for. And a little bit of a TMI moment, bottom growth and stuff. I'm still getting that. I'm on a very low dose of testosterone. So I'm still getting the changes that would come with being on testosterone, just slower and not necessarily all of them. I was on a 0.25 weekly dose, and then I cut that 0.25 back to 2 times a month. So I made that decision because my body had to start. It started like squaring out a little too much. I was starting to lose like my waist and my hips, and I didn't like that. So I cut back on the testosterone. And I was one of the lucky ones that the amount that I was on, it actually had stopped my menstrual cycle. So with that cutback, I did start to spot again, and I don't want that. So I did start birth control in that case. And the birth control has stopped my cycle. And in turn, I did get one of the most common side effects that come with birth control, which is weight gain. But I needed the weight gain, honestly. I was underweight for my height and my age before, and now I'm at a steady like 130, and that's like kind of right in the middle of the range for me. With that added weight gain, it has also built some like muscle mass. Never been able to gain any muscle. I've always been a fucking twig. Like, look at this. Do you see how small this is? It's always been like that. And it has been like a little bit of a thing for me, cause like, bro, I fucking eat. It's not like I'm sitting here not eating food. I eat. My body's just like that, I guess. That's pretty much my entire medical process to this point. Seeking out in the future, get rid of the fucking shit down there, the parts down there that caused me to menstruate in the first place. Because I hate that. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. And with the trajectory of this country, I need to have that surgery sooner rather than later, just in case, like, I won't have access to some of these things that would help prevent that from happening. I don't want kids. One, don't really like kids, and two, I want to believe that I could be a good parent at this point with the amount of work that I've done, but just because of the household that I grew up in, it just doesn't feel right. Oh, also three, the fucking planet is on fire, so that just sounds like a bad idea, honestly. No, like, misgivings towards anyone who does decide to have children or anything. It's just not for me. It wouldn't weigh well on my conscience. Both my husband and I have decided if we ever do end up with a kid, it would be like a situation where our family member fucking dies and we're the only people who are able to take care of them or something. That's like the only circumstance in which we would like actually have a kid, or like, I don't know, some kind of like mentorship thing. But otherwise, I don't want children, and I do not care if that child is biological. So like, getting rid of all my reproductive shit, not like I'm good. I'm fine. I'm turning 25. That's like the usual age that they're like, okay, you can make this decision. Like, I made this decision 5 years ago, but whatever. I was too scared for the surgery at that point anyway to even discuss having it. Like, when it comes to like bottom surgery, part two TMI, if the technology was there, if the science was there, yeah, I want a fucking penis. That'd be awesome. But I I don't want to peel my skin off and make a dick out of it. It scares me. Fucking glory to the people who have gone through that. All the power to you. But it scares the shit out of me. It makes me queasy just thinking about it. If it was more like a grow a dick thing, and then you can just like stick it on, that'd be cool. That'd be I'd be down for that. But no, we don't have that yet. So I'm just I'm gonna deal with what I've got. When it comes to my like own body dysphoria slash dysmorphia, honestly, I don't know the difference between that. I'm gonna look that up. Okay, I did like a quick little research, and I just clicked on one of the first MD sites that I found, and this is what I saw. In the realm of mental health, two terms often come up that can be easily confused: dysmorphia and dysphoria. While they may sound similar and both related to discomfort with one's body or self, they are distinct conditions with different causes, symptoms, and treatments. What is dysmorphia? Body dysmorphia, more formally known as body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, is a mental health condition characterized by obsessive focus on perceived flaws in one's appearance. These flaws are often minor or even non existent to others, but to the person experiencing dysmorphia, they can feel overwhelmingly significant. Key features of dysmorphia: 1. Obsessive thoughts about physical appearance. 2. Excessive grooming or checking behaviors. 3. Seeking reassurance about appearance. 4. Avoiding social situations due to appearance concerns. 5. Attempting to hide or cover up perceived flaws. What is dysphoria? Dysphoria, on the other hand, is a broader term that refers to a state of unease or dissatisfaction with life. In the context of gender, we often hear about gender dysphoria, which refers to psychological distress that results from an incongruence between one's sex assigned at birth and one's gender identity. Though gender dysphoria often begins in childhood, some people may not experience it until after puberty or much later. Key features of gender dysphoria: 1. Strong desire to be treated as a gender other than the one assigned at birth. 2, discomfort with physical sex characteristics. 3, desire for the primary and or secondary sex characteristics of another gender. 4, feeling that one's emotions and reactions are typical of another gender. 5, strong desire to be perceived as another gender. Now, lastly, it is important to note that not all transgender individuals experience gender dysphoria, and experiencing gender dysphoria doesn't necessarily mean a person is transgender. The intensity and manifestation of dysphoria can vary greatly from person to person. I did choose to include these little snippets in here because I do strongly agree with a lot of the wording. It makes a lot of sense to me personally. So yes, I would define myself as having dysphoria, not dysmorphia. The way it works for me is there is a full acceptance of the body that I've been born in, but like whatever I can do to achieve what my mind sees, then yeah, I'm gonna take those steps, which we're getting there. We're just not fully there. My dysphoria definitely isn't as intense as another person's dysphoria, and I don't know if that has anything to do with my version of transness, with me being non-binary. But like my husband, it was nearly life ending for him. He needed to make this change, and he's so much happier for it. He's pretty much like full medical transition. He's loving it, honestly. I've never really had any conversations with like detransitioners or anything like that. I know not everyone who has decided to detransition or stop transitioning is like against transition in general, like medical transition. It does make me wonder, a large enough number of people who are loud enough about it that they were like, oh, I tried transitioning and I didn't like it, so no one else should have it. I don't like, you experiment. That was your choice to experiment with your body. No one made you do that. You did that yourself. You should be at least 16 before you actually start HRT. When it comes to like hormone blockers and stuff like that, I'm not well enough versed to actually make like any kind of comment on that. Like people starting hormone blockers at like 14 or something. I don't know enough to like actually make a comment on that, because I didn't even start my own medical transition until I was like 21. But I had socially transitioned like years prior. Now, the reason why I have the opinion of 16-year-old starting HRT but needing to be on therapy for a year is because of a situation that's kind of close to me at the moment. And I did do a little bit of an intoxicated rant a few nights ago that I don't know, I still haven't watched it back, so we'll see if we like include it in, but like it's a whole fucking thing. I am inebriated, in all honesty. Yeah. But because of that specific situation, I'm fully of the belief like you need to be in therapy. You need to talk to a psychological professional before starting HRT. For me, it worked out just because I've had those conversations with myself. I knew how I wanted to go about it. And again, like the social transition and everything, this person has not socially transitioned, and their stage started medically transitioning. Like, please socially transition first. Like, why aren't what sense does that make? You have all these people around you who are close to you calling you by your dead name and by the improper pronouns while you are currently taking this medication. That's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to make you feel good. What sense does that make? But whatever. It's not my issue to deal with. I'm trying my best to support from afar, and we'll see what happens. That was just like the way most people do it. I every other trans person that I've talked to, they socially transitioned well before medically transitioning. Um, and that was regardless of the fact they were on therapy or were on therapy, if they had therapy beforehand or not. I did not have therapy beforehand, and I still started my medical transition, but I'm fine. It was a decision that I like fully thought about, and it just so happened to work well in my favor. I am currently in therapy though, but that's for other reasons other than my transness. Again, for me, it wasn't necessarily a life or death situation. I will be extremely uncomfortable and not fucking happy without the testosterone, but I think I would be able to survive well enough as long as either I don't have these organs or um, I'm on the birth control to prevent the menstruation, because that was the worst part of it for me. That I hated it so fucking much. It's so nasty, and it's a whole thing, and I'm just like, it was a thing that I said a lot in like middle school. I would much rather deal with a random boner that you gotta like tuck away than your body punishing you every month for not being pregnant. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me? And I don't know if that's just because like I have bad attitude towards menstruation or something. I don't know. I think it's gross. I find it gross. I don't like having something like that come out of my body every month. And especially because I like already had like fucked up hormone levels to begin with, that the cycle, it wasn't consistent. So I couldn't be like, oh, it's about to start, let me prepare. No, it was like, oh, it's starting. What do I do?
What do I do?
So yeah, no, it was never something that it was like, oh my god, womanhood, I feel so. No, it wasn't like that for me. So here we are. That situation has nothing to do with my attitude towards being born female. I do have an immense appreciation for women and just AFAB people in general, but also trans women as well, because one, you just got to deal with societal misogyny, but like if you're AFAB, you also got to deal with the biology of a fucking female body. That's insane. Um, but like just the misogyny of it all. Go off, queen. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I hope you're doing well. I do see medical transition as like another sort of body modification. Okay, so like we're gonna have a live reaction of me just realizing something about that thought process. So like, yes, it is basically just a body modification, but also at the same time, I have seen circumstances, aka my fucking husband, who it was a life or death type situation for. So, like, yeah, it wasn't like he was going to die of some kind of disease if he didn't get this medication, but he wasn't fucking happy. And we all see what happens to people who are desperately, desperately unhappy. So it was a life or death situation for him. I think it can be life saving medicine while also just being simply a form of body modification, like piercings or tattoos. It is a bit of something that I don't understand why. it's necessary to prevent people from doing what they want with their own bodies. When it comes to both transition and things like pro-choice or pro-life, this person who has gotten pregnant and this pregnancy is either going to kill them or this pregnancy was something that horribly hurt them mentally and physically. If this pregnancy is something that they truly cannot take care of, because that's part of where I can see having a child as being selfish. Because if you're not capable of taking care of this kid, then like you're either going to raise this kid in subpar standards, and depending on their own brain chemistry, they may or may not be able to cope with that situation. And that might then continue the cycle of just not great choices. Or on the other hand, you still have this kid and you give this kid up to a system that is overwhelmed and broken. I don't know. I think if I were to end up pregnant with an unwanted pregnancy, the system, the fucking system is broken. Like unless it was genuinely better to put this kid up for adoption, then yeah, go through with it. But it's not. Realistically, it is not better to put this kid up for adoption. I think it's better to just go ahead and terminate it. And there are not fucking people out here just aborting fucking babies. That's not a fucking thing. Have you experienced an abortion? Have you seen what that process is like? Have you talked to someone who has had an abortion? People aren't doing that every other week or every other month just because it's like fun or something. That's not what's happening. The fact that anyone would think that's what's happening is kind of insane to me. Because like genuinely, why would someone put themselves through that level of trauma just because they have, I don't know, something to fucking, I don't get it. Because again, we have contraception, and yes, we don't have great access to contraception. That is part of the reason why we do have abortions. Because again, people be stupid sometimes. People genuinely be stupid sometimes. But you make that mistake once in your life, you're not gonna fucking make that mistake again. Trust and believe, man. Trust and fucking believe. They're getting real political up in this shit. I mean, it's midterms. Vote. If you are in the Kansas area, you see no signs. If you're in the Kansas area, vote no. Vote no. Don't vote yes. Vote no. Vote no. Vote no. Everyone in the U.S., you've got to vote in your local elections, take part in your local elections, because it is important. It is the arguably most important form of government that you can get involved in, because your local government is intrinsically what's affecting the bigger government. It's making it easier for all of this other shit to get through and to pass. So be involved in your local government. It is extremely important. Check that you're registered to vote. Do that too. That's important. Because how the fuck are you gonna vote if you're not registered to vote? Wherever you are, stay safe. Go to sleep. Sleep well, honestly. Sleep is important. Sleep is so important. Um, like, subscribe, just share. I feel like such a like a little troll. Like, subscribe, share.